I hate social media. I said those four words more times than I can count over the last 3 years. And after spending over 35 plus years online, from bulletin board systems in the 1980s to TikTok today, I made a decision that I never thought I'd make when I first connected with a BBS in 1987. I'm leaving almost every social media platform except YouTube. And honestly, that decision has been one of the most freeing decisions I've made in a long time. Hey, Confident Autistics. I am the Confident Autistic, but you can call me Chris. On this channel, I create videos and more that will help you better understand autism, connect you with resources that can help you through your autistic journey, and I share my life as a late diagnosed autistic adult. And this is another video in the Confident Autistic Journal series. The Confident Autistic Journal is my video blog of my life as a late diagnosed autistic adult. Today, I'm going to share with you my experiences on social media and why I am leaving all social media except YouTube. Now, I want you to know today's video is not a rant. I know it sounds like that. My voice sounds that way, but trust me, it's not a rant. In this story of someone who once embraced connecting with people online, slowly realized social media was hurting more than helping, especially after I discovered I was on the autism spectrum. Let's start off by me sharing with you why I wanted to be on social media even before it was called social media. Now, I wanted to be on social media, and this is the late 80s, okay, to connect with other people. I thought this would be a great way to connect with people. And my goal was to build a circle of friends and to make a difference in the world. Now, my online journey started with BBS systems in the 1980s. That's a bulletin board system. For you kids that are not old enough to know what that is, what you did was you had a computer in your house. And inside your computer, you had this little card called a modem. Now, you could have an external modem too. And then there's a phone cord that ran from the back of your computer or your modem into the wall. And via that cord from your computer, you could dial a phone number and connect with another computer. It was pretty high tech back then, but the speeds were not that great. The highest I had was a 2400 baud modem, which is extremely slow compared to today's internet that we have in our homes. Okay, so that is what it was like. And when they connected, they had a really cool sound that you could tell it was connecting. It was kind of wild to listen to. Now, like I said, I started with BBSs in the 1980s. Then came along Prodigy, which was kind of a really, it was a very early predecessor to um, to what we have today. And I joined Genie, CompuServe, AOL, and eventually the internet. And I consider all of those first ones I mentioned, Prodigy, Genie, CompuServe, and AOL, as internet with training wheels because they had a great user interface, made it really easy to get around and find stuff. But then I eventually got onto the real internet as we know it today. And it's evolved since I got on in the 1990s. Now, I embraced, while I'm on the internet, I've embraced the eBay community, which back in the day, they had these things called eBay blogs, which was kind of like social media because you would post something and then people could reply to it. Or in the big thread of all the blogs, which really like post after post after post, somebody else can start a new blog post, which was like a new thread of a conversation. Then I got on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, checked out TikTok, Pinterest, and finally on YouTube. Now, Twitter overwhelmed me because there was simply too much happening all at once. My brain never had a chance to slow down. You get on Twitter, I refuse to call it X. because when I think of X, I think of a internet corn site, and I don't want to go there. Okay, so I call it Twitter. So bear with me with this. When you go on Twitter, you read the updates and all, but you never get caught up because while you're reading, 10, 20, 50, 100 new tweets came in, and it's overwhelming for me. I didn't like it. I thought, I'm going to get lost in noise here. If I say something, unless somebody is online within the next few minutes, they're not going to see it. Facebook has become exhausting because it feels like every few posts nowadays, there's another advertisement competing for my attention. So it's gotten to the point, maybe it's just me. I'll go to my feed. I'll read one post from a friend, one ad, one post from a group that I subscribe to or join, an ad. And it keeps rotating that way. Too much advertising. Then I checked out LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn seemed kind of stuffy and formal to me until I figured out LinkedIn was more for business connections. This is not the platform you're going to find somebody posting, look what my cute cat did. Here's my trip pictures from my trip to Disneyland. None of that stuff's on LinkedIn. So the little stuff but once I figured out it's for business, I kind of understood it better. Now, Instagram and Pinterest did not make a lot of sense to me. Okay, I just didn't see how that worked. I mean, it's like, okay, looking at these people's pictures, but I did not feel any connections going on. At least I didn't figure out how to make a connection. And I'll be honest, I didn't understand TikTok. It just wasn't for me. The first time I watched TikTok and I heard about TikTok is some of the challenges we've heard the teens, the kids do. Like the Tide Pod, don't do this, the Tide Pod challenge and stuff like that. And I thought, this is a place where if I keep watching it, my IQ is going to drop. So it wasn't for me. I just couldn't handle it. From my time on social media over the last 35 years, there's a few things I have learned. People like yes people. What I mean is somebody posts something, and I'm going to use Facebook as an example. Okay, that's where I spent most of my time on social media. And they post something, and let's say it's political or they like a movie or they like a certain baseball team. They want everyone who comments on that post to agree with them. Don't disagree with somebody on their post. That makes people really angry. Now, don't disagree just to be a jerk. I'm just saying, I I will point out that no, I don't see it the same way. This is how I see it. Like you might in a conversation. People don't like that, generally speaking, on their walls, but comments on their posts. Okay, so that's one thing I learned. People like yes people, which really does not foster, in my opinion, um, friendships, connections, or even a better understanding. Because when I post stuff, I don't mind people disagree with me, okay? As long as you don't are not hurtful and mean, like tearing me down or tearing someone else down because their opinion is different. I'm open to hear other people's opinions. It usually does not change my mind, but I do like to see how other people think on a topic because I think that makes me a more well-rounded person. Maybe it's just me. The other thing I learned from being on social media, people can be meaner online than in person because they're hiding behind a computer screen. They're nowhere near where you can punch them in the face. By the way, don't be punching people in the face. That's a bad idea. But the point is, because they're behind a computer screen, they just they act worse than they would in public. Okay, and there's many examples of that. It just doesn't make sense. That was very prevalent in the beginning days of social media. Now that next to most posts, there's an avatar that has a picture of a human being there. I would hope that would dial that down. It doesn't. Okay, it doesn't. People are still mean, and I don't get why people have to be hateful towards one another. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my autism. I don't know. I don't understand why people have to be hateful. Now, I want to dive into what I really do not like about social media as an autistic adult. All of my online experiences have felt the same. I constantly feel pressure to chase likes and become someone I wasn't. Because we see our friends on there. This happens to all of us, okay? We see friends on there and they're like, wow, they posted this and they got 30 likes. I post something similar, only get 3, and you feel inferior. And I feel like I'm chasing likes. I'm trying to be in a popularity contest, something many of us may have experienced in high school when we were kids. It was all about a popularity contest. And that's not me. I just want to be myself. But it still hurts when I see other people get 30 likes and I only get 3. So that's one thing I do not like is that pressure it causes. Okay? And it making me into wanting to be somebody I wasn't, to mask even further and try to compete. And the only person, and this is from MASH, Colonel Potter said this on MASH, and very wise words. The only person you need to be better than is the person you are today. And I'm paraphrasing that a little bit. But the point is, the only person you need to compete with is yourself to make you a better person each and every day. But unfortunately, on social media, I constantly felt the pressure to chase likes and become someone else so I would get those likes. And that wasn't working for me, okay? Another thing I don't like about social media, and I'm not saying all of this way, okay? But there are some that are too political. Now, I'm not talking about boards or threads or whatever that are a political nature. You know, there's sites out there for that. That's fine. I'm just talking like Facebook and all. At times, it becomes very too political. Like many autistic adults, I have a strong sense of fairness and a very low tolerance towards hatred. I kind of mentioned that a little bit earlier, but it's true. And a lot of these political conversations, people just get mean to one another. And whether they're mean to one another, some of the things we see from politicians, and I don't really want to go too much into politics in this channel because that will offend people. And so I'm not going to name names or call anybody out. But some of these, their goal, in my opinion, is see how much we can put down someone else. We see people, and this part is a little bit of a rant, forgive me, but we see people, and I say this more common in political situations. We use labels to tear down other people to make ourselves feel bigger and better, and that's wrong. Okay, and I'm tired of seeing that. It is too political. I don't care for politics. I am nowhere near interested in politics, but it's gotten very political on social media, and that is driving me up a wall. Basically, social media now feels like high school to me, and it to me it's like a popularity contest. I hated them in high school because I was never popular in high school, and I am not good at popularity contests. And I still hate them today on social media or even in real life. Hey, I realized over all the years, and this really became true of my autism diagnosis, I'm different. I got to be me, okay? And I'm at the point in my life. If people like me for who I am, great. And if they don't, that's not my problem. That's their choice. And I just move on. As long as I do my best to try to treat people decently and try not to hurt people, don't break any laws, I feel like I'm doing good. Now, let me explain to you why I'm leaving social media, except for YouTube. And it really stems from a buildup over the last few years. It partly started about the time I was self-discovering I'm on the spectrum. I realized one night while I was doom scrolling endlessly, I was wasting my time. I could be doing something better with my time than doom scrolling. I could be learning about autism, watching YouTube videos, reading books, etc., listening to podcasts. And so that's one of the reasons I wanted to leave there. When I look at all the stuff that's on social media, speaking of wasting your time, I wonder how do people, I see people post constantly, how do people have a life when they are always on social media? I don't get it. When do you have to, and you have to tell me everything you're doing. Today I went to and some of the stuff that comes up on social media, I don't know about you, but I sit there wondering, why are you telling me this? So somebody posted one time, this is an example, that said, I went to the grocery store and I bought groceries for my family for this weekend. Why are you telling me? Why do you think I would be remotely in? I don't even know you. Why are you telling me this? Or even if I did, why are you telling me this? What? I don't get it. Do you feel that way at times with some of the stuff you see on social media? Or when someone talks to you and says something to you and you just want to say, what do you what makes you think I would have a remote interest in what you're saying? Now, one of my favorite things I like to say to people when they do this, and I'm a little bit off topic here, but I'll do it here real quick. If when someone tells me that or starts a conversation telling me about something I don't care about, and they're going to keep going on and on and on, I want to say to them, wow, that's really fascinating, very interesting. Why don't you tell me that later when I'm not here? Social media is also too crowded. There's too many people on there. It's too people-y, okay? And too much stuff is coming at me. I've kind of mentioned that earlier. It's just overwhelming of sensory input. And people sometimes share too much. Talked about that a moment ago, but this is a true story. I have a friend of mine, and this friend's child has some serious medical issues, and I'm not making fun of that. And that's fine. I understand this person wanted to share with her friends, family, updates about her child. Okay, that's fine. I get that. One, people are concerned, and two, it does help the person who's going through a difficult time to share those things. I get that. But one of the things that this person shared was her child had was in the hospital, had some lab work done, urine analysis, and it came back clean. It came back fine. Nothing wrong with it. Great, you shared it with me. I don't know why you did, but maybe people are curious. Okay, I can deal with that. But she included with that text a picture of the bottle of urine. Why did you share that? I don't need to see that. I'm not looking at the picture saying, yep, that looks like healthy urine. I don't do those things. I don't get it. And that happened about 5 years ago, and I still remember it. That's how much of an impact it made on me. Another reason I'm leaving is because I feel unpopular on social media. I bet many of you can relate to this. When you see other people who have 500 friends and you only have 50, you don't feel that popular. You post something, you feel like nobody comments on it. Where other people post a similar thing, a lot of people comment on them. You feel unpopular. I feel unpopular on social media. So that's another reason I want to leave. And of course, the stupidity that occurs on social media that I see on TV, including crime. Just recently, here in 2026, we had this couple that scaled up the Empire State Building to the highest point and waved a flag and then came back down. They're facing some very serious charges for that. But they did that, and they've done this at other locations too for their social media followers. I don't want to see that kind of stupidity. Okay, like, sheesh. Because I wonder if social media is encouraging people to do this stupid stuff that are criminal acts. But the two biggest things that got to me is an incident that happened with February 2025 with Promise Keepers. It's a men's group for Christian men that I was a member of. And somehow the conversation got to homosexuality, which uh, Christians seem to be really upset about that. I call myself Christian. I'm not, but many Christians do. Okay. And it just got to the point where all of us is how much we hate homosexuality. And I left that group. I also left a church page that I was following because a friend of mine is part of that church, the member of that church. And I left that for similar reasons because they tear down people that are a part of the LGBTQ plus community. And as I mentioned before, as an autistic adult, I have a strong sense of fairness between people. Okay. So it really bothered me. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be associated with it. I don't want to see that. You want to have that hate? That's fine. I don't do that hate. And then this June, I posted some things on my personal page on Facebook that was pro LGBTQ Pride Month. And I also did it on my business page on Facebook. And I got some backlash. I got people um, laughing at the posts and being disrespectful. And that bothered me. And I had some people who started to share with me how biblically it was wrong and how they don't like gay people. Okay. And I'm thinking, what happened to the part of the Bible that many Christians use to get out of jury duty, where they say, according to the Bible, I do not judge other people. That kind of goes out the window when they see somebody from the LGBTQ plus community. I don't get it. Now, the hardest part of me being on social media wasn't dealing with strangers online. It was losing real life friendships because of things that happened on social media. So basically, some of the people I already knew in real life before Facebook, whatever, right? And then we discovered social media, we became friends on there, and then something happened on social media. Usually I disagreed with something. This is how I learned people like yes people, and it destroyed friendships. And that loss of friendships hurt far more than any negative comment ever could or did. And looking back, that's the part that still hurts. Now, I don't want you to think social media is horrible, okay? I'm not a big fan of it, but I don't want you to think it's horrible. But some good has come out of social media. A few real life friendships have developed. But unfortunately, most of them were very short lived. And some of them I only talk to occasionally. But that's just me. Even my friends I know for years, I don't talk to them that often. I don't, I know I probably should. I just, not in me. I don't know why. I don't know how to do it. I don't know. Another benefit I found to social media, it decreased the number of face to face or voice call conversations, which I hate. Why do I hate that? Because of small talk, which social media does not have a lot of small talk on it. That's another thing I liked about it. But overall, the bad for me has outweighed the good. So I want you to know I'm not leaving because I hate connecting with people. Further from the truth. I am leaving because I want more meaningful connections, okay? YouTube, and that's what I'm saying on YouTube. YouTube allows me to tell longer stories like this video. Share what I'm learning about adult autism in my adult autism one-on-one series that I post a new video here on the channel every Monday. And while I'm doing this, I feel I'm building a genuine community where I make a difference in the world, which, while helping others who are on a late autism journey to live confidently autistic, which is one of my goals in life. I really feel very drawn to making a difference in the world, a positive difference. And that's why one of the things that brings me the most happiness is helping other people. And this platform here on YouTube allows me to do that, okay? Most importantly, on YouTube, I can build a genuine and supportive community of friends, which is what I wanted when I first connected on a BBS in 1987. A genuine community of friends. Now, I know in our community, people come, people go. I get that. It's just the nature of having an online community. But this is something very important to me, okay? I want to make something that helps people learn about late autism, a late autistic journey, while sharing my own journey and learning together with you. That's really important to me. So this right here on YouTube is where I want to invest my time going forward. So this Independence Day, the 250th birthday of America, July 4th, 2026, I'm declaring my independence from social media, not because I'm giving up on people, but because I'm choosing the kinds of connections that help me live confidently autistic. Now it's your turn. I'd love to hear your experience. Has social media made your life better or worse? Are you thinking about stepping away from certain social media platforms? Let me know in the comments. And if you're navigating life as a late diagnosed autistic adult, I'd love to have you join this community by subscribing to the channel and becoming friends with the wonderful people who have already joined my YouTube channel. New episodes of the Confident Autistic Journal drop every Friday, so be sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to receive notifications of new videos and when I go live. In the meantime, please check out this video that is coming up on your screen. And until next time, I am the Confident Autistic, reminding you to live confidently autistic.